What's going on YouTube? This is Chaos Rain here, and in this video I'm here to bring you a little bit about my new league iShot. Now, if you guys are aware, I used to be an iShot main on my old channel as well, not my old channel, but my old account as well, and I was going to, bring back other builds or try other builds, but I just kind of got handed currency, and when I'm handed currency, I'm gonna go to the build that I know the most, which is iShot. And with this build, this is going to be a revamp of last league's tankiest iShot build I've ever made. And I'm going to go over exactly how to accomplish making this build, along with the core mechanics and pieces that you're going to need to use as well. So first things first, let's go over the gear. So our gear is pretty simple for now. Right now we are using the Arborix. We don't even have it linked up. We're just using 1/6 link, which is LE damage with attacks, added cold, inspiration, awakened cold pen, ice shot, hypothermia. This is like 20C, so it's whatever. We are using this helmet, Heat Shiver. Heat Shiver gives you 100% of cold gain 100% of cold gained as extra fire damage against frozen enemies, which, because we are able to freeze almost instantly and almost always, we're just given free damage all the time, as well as gain 1% of cold damage as extra fire damage per 1% chill effect on enemy, no matter what. So this can go up to 30%, and because we are running Ice Shot, we're going to be 30% gaining that extra fire damage for free. On top of the cold and fire res, this is pretty insane. This also has the corruption of 30% increase effect of cold ailments, which is really good. Then we have this. We actually bought this armor for 1 divine, and a friend helped us link it. This is a Hiri's Ire with +2 socketed projectile gems. Now this one right here, if we press L3, it has chill duration, which is really good. It helps me keep things frozen longer. A decent amount of evasion. Unfortunately the roll is kind of low, and a decent amount of cold damage. The roll is again a little low. But the biggest thing here to take away is the spell suppress. Now, right now we aren't spell suppress capped because we don't have the rest of the points we need, or the gear, or the jewels, or whatever else we need, and we're just kind of trudging along with what we do have. Now, currently we are using double tamings. The tamings give us an insane amount of elemental damage, as well as all resistances. Now, these are really low rolled tamings, and honestly, that's fine. Losing the all res is the only reason why I haven't dropped them for something else. Like, for example, if I drop this for my main items, which is these two here, if I go like this, and you see my reses are pretty bad with 33-14 on the fire and lightning. Now, I can get jewels eventually to, fix this, and that is the plan, is to get some jewels. As well as a better quiver with, instead of this quiver, this is just a 1C unique quiver. I want to get a rare quiver that's not really crafted, but maybe raw crafted, with both fire and lightning res. One thing I will say is there was a quiver I had, I believe, up on my thing. I don't know if it's still there. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. It's right here. So there's this quiver here, which I did offer on, which I did see, but, I don't know if they're going to let it go for 26/7C. That's all I have right now, so, I mean, if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. And honestly, I'd probably have a friend help me craft it, just so I can get it to have, like, double res and a little bit of damage on the top. But either way, the reason why we want this is because this says, enemies... what do you call it? 10% increased movement while ignited, which, sometimes you do get ignited. The biggest part is effective chill is reversed. And with this ring here, it says all damage can chill. All damage taken chills you. Enemies chilled by your hits can shatter as though they were frozen, so you still get, the shatter even if you don't freeze them. And enemies chilled by your hits lessen their damage dealt to you by half of chill effect, so up to 15%. With Ice Shot, you're always going to be at that 30%, so it's pretty easy to just kind of get that going. Another thing I will say is that currently our gloves are just kind of there, but it's not something that we're going to end up keeping. This is just temporary gloves to have fun with until we get, like, maybe an inspired learning or something of that sort. As well as the boots. The boots I actually really like. I might be using the boots for a while just because they're really, really good for giving me more damage. Just 20% increased LE pin essentially is pretty solid. Now, the way our build works is currently, let's go ahead and put our res rings back on so you can see we are res cap. We only have 2,000 life. However, we do have a fair amount of armor. If you can see here, our estimated physical damage reduction is 74%. We aren't Ellie immune in this build though. I will make that disclaimer, so just a heads up there. However, what we can do is we can drop this and put on this. And what that does is, if you look here, we go down 10% of our, Ellie res here. But if we look at our tree, we're completely Ellie immune. And this almost perfectly solves our reses, almost perfectly. I believe it's not maxed yet, but I don't think it does too much until it's 21, and even then I don't think it's going to give me like the be-all end-all amount of res that I'm looking for. So I will still be looking for better gloves for this setup. So that being said, we're basically trying to reduce all the damage dealt to us by as much as possible, and on our current build, we are using the Defiance Banner, Precision level 20, I think, or as high as I can. Sniper's Marker on hit, no. I don't think it's level 20 yet, it's 18. And then we are using Herald Device, and Herald Device is another shatter, another like little explosion, as well as a little bit of damage. We do enough damage with all of our cold plus this that we can just kind of guarantee ourselves to just completely overwhelm the opponent with damage. So, let's go ahead and go over a little bit of the other tech we do. So, this belt gives you fire and lightning res as well as cold damage leeches life. Because we have this cold damage leeches life and we're doing pure cold damage, we actually can save a point on the tree for life leech. I believe currently we are actually taking life leech right here. Attack damage leeches life, attack damage leeches mana. And that being said, if you really wanted to, you can take that out and put some mana leech somewhere else if you wanted to, and put something else, like say the blinding enemies, or gain life, or gain whatever you want to call it on attack, which is probably better. So honestly, if I were to go here, I go gain life on hit with enemies hit by attacks. This is probably going to be better. Or this one, gain a frenzy and a power charge on kill. 6% chance, which is pretty often that you're going to do that. But honestly, you would probably do this, and then go down here and take the mana leech node here. Because you have life leech, you don't really need the life leech, and the gain life on hit is going to be even better with the mod that you already have. You can also take these nodes here once you have enough points. Honestly, once I'm 95, this is part of what I get. I usually get this, maybe get a jewel slot, and just start working my way through the tree as I go. Another thing is you can take the 15 all res here, which would pretty much almost guarantee you, but if I do that, I think I lose a little bit of damage on my chill effect, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see what I go. I go to 66 lightning res, which is actually not horrible. I might actually be able to ask a friend for resistance catalysts, and those might be enough to get me like to 70 plus. We'll have to see as we figure our stuff out. Also, these gloves, again, these aren't going to be my end game gloves. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to buy for gloves eventually. But yeah, let's go ahead and show you a little bit about how this performs as is, just so you guys can kind of see for yourself. I'm actually going to, just for now, take off the corrupted blood and put on the 12 all res. That's going to give me res capped for now. And we are going to roll one of my flasks to have corrupted blood on it. Let's see, these are the lower ones, right? Yeah, let's just roll this Divine Life flask. I believe it's like bubbling, right? Immunity to hinder, immunity to maim. That's really cool. I don't know that existed. Immunity to ignite, don't really care. I think it's a suffix, right? Of bounty. What does that do? Warding removes curses. That's really cool. Boom. What do you give me? Trash. Okay. I didn't expect to roll a flask on my video. Oh, there we go. Alleviation, immunity to bleeding, and immunity to corrupted blood, and removes it. So that's pretty solid. The charge recovery is just whatever. Do I have any baubles? I have a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. Now this is like the easiest way you can go about it. Obviously, you just have a corrupted blood flask. Or the easiest way is actually having a corrupted blood jewel, to be honest, but getting like a corrupted blood, for example, Lion Eye Fall, is going to be very, very hard for me to do. So, let's go ahead and hop right into a map, just so you guys can see exactly what I mean by your different layers of defense and so on and so forth. If you see here, our cold res is insanely high. I actually think I was given a quiver. What is this? Projectile speed, fire res, life, dex, fizz. And it has an open prefix. Can I craft something cool on it? That's not what I want. There we go. It has life. I guess we can just do flat cold. And then, boom. Put that on instead. Sure. Proj speed. Proj speed is really good for this too, because, you know, if you're doing proj speed, you have a lot of conversion. So let's go ahead and just throw this on and hop right into this. Now, usually I like the quiver I showed you, because the gain fizzes cold is really good. Honestly, that's probably the better quiver if I'm than this one for now, until I can get a crafted one that's just insane. But we're just going to go ahead and, you know, take this out for a test drive, and as well as show you a little bit about how the build functions and how it works. So let's see, we're going to go ahead and, oh, that's interesting. Let's go ahead and kill this first pack real quick. Okay, cool. Oh, a little lag, a little lag. Alright. So, now I'm going to back up real quick. Now, if we look here, we are at 72% physical damage reduction. I believe we go up if we use our tailwind like this. We end up going to 64 like that. I think we kill something and we go up even higher, but the way it works is that this right here, this setup, gives us 15% less damage taken by any enemy I chill. I always chill, as well as any enemy that hits me, chills me, and then gives me action speed, which is really good. This gives me flat fire, flat cold. This says any enemy I crit, I inflict malignant madness, which reduces their action speed by 10% for 8 seconds and reduces their damage dealt by 10%. Sorry, reduces their damage dealt and action speed, as well as it giving me 15% global defenses and a lot of stats. It's pretty good. The implicit is pretty solid. It gives me a decent amount of evasion rating, and it gives me crit chance for my attacks, which is, if I'm trying to build a build that's critting, obviously I want to have as high a crit chance as possible. If we look here, our crit chance is at 29%, so we're not doing too shabby. We're not, like, insanely high. We need a crit quiver to get to, like, 50% or a diamond flask active, but at 30% of the time, that critting is not too bad. So let's go ahead and just, plow through. Now if I hit him, now if he hits me, it's not going to do barely anything, right? He's a rare mob. Now obviously this is a T1 map, and they hit a lot harder in the higher tier maps. That burning ground was annoying. And let's see, we're just gonna go through here. See, if we go here, we're gonna get chilled. That doesn't look like we're... Oh, that's right. So that's another thing I did forget, is that we need to take off Purity of Elements for this setup. Put on this. If we do that, we're not going to be Elia immune, but we are going to go up to 75% damage reduction. Now, every time we get it hit, we get the reverse chill effect, and we're just able to zoom around. Go ahead and let him hit me real quick. See that? now we're at that -21. Just go ahead and kill him. Coral ring. Oh, nice. I don't know what that does. That is exactly, but nice. And then we can just go ahead and blow up all these enemies. Then any enemy that does hit us ends up just getting stuck. Now, one thing I will say is that you can just, get immunity to frozen without Purity of Elements. However, because I don't have Purity of Elements on, the biggest problem here is that, I have negative reses. So, we're just going to go ahead and kill what we can. Take out our guys here. Unfortunately, the self-chill doesn't work for this, so it is what it is. We can always just put on a taming or something, but, until we get our reses fixed, this is what we have. We can either do one or the other. So I'm just going to put that here, and then itemize our tablet. Boom. What do you know? And look, we got a harvest. If you saw my last video, you will know that I am actually farming harvest, and I am doing it for the little seeds things, because I can sell the seeds for currency. Let's kill you. Alright. Perfect. Six and 1. We'll get it. Now, once we can get LE res capped without Purity of Elements, which shouldn't be all that hard, but once we can do that, we will definitely be running our, what do you call it? We'll be definitely running our ring setup, because when we're chilled, the extra action speed is really good, especially on bosses. Basically, I will chill and freeze the boss, and then when it does hit me, I attack a lot faster, and I'm able to just kind of keep it frozen or chilled in place, making it so it does less damage to me. So as you see here, we are just blowing through the content, not really worrying about too much. Right, yep, there we go. Now, once I get things going, I will definitely... Oh, that's the symbols of it. I will definitely be doing something along the lines of taking, these two rings with a self-chill factor. I do need to get a better quiver and, better just all-around gear. But for now, we're going to use the tamings, as the tamings are just better overall for us until we can get our reses fixed. And unfortunately, that's just not the case right now, and we will just be having to use the LE res that is given by those rings, sorry, and then just increasing our defenses. So let's go ahead and put it back, and yeah. So yep, I hope you guys do enjoy this little build breakdown, as well as the content that I'm bringing you. As always, you can feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. And as always, take it easy and have a good one.